Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
What is going on, folks? Welcome to the program. It is an absolute delight to welcome you to this 152nd Open at Royal Troon. We are on the eve of the same. Remember, it's in the afternoon here at Royal Troon. We've already been on the air for hours in our Open radio coverage, which Open radio coverage, you can hear the preview shows. Let's see, you can hear it on the Open's official app. You can hear it on theopen.com. In North America, you'll be able to hear our live coverage starting at 2 a.m. Eastern time, Thursday morning, just, well, a few hours from now for many of you. You'll be able to hear that on Sirius XM satellite radio if you subscribe to that. Or again, you can get it coverage for free on theopen.com or the Open's official app. I was assigned this morning out to the practice ground, so that included the putting green, it included the driving range, and had some fun out there. I was walking around. I was able to take some video of a few players that, you know, my job is to go out there and kind of set the scene, talk about what's going on, talk about the shots that I'm seeing, talk about what they're working on. This was video that I shot of Rory getting ready, just ripping a few out there. I got a chance to talk to his dad. That's our Ryder Cup captain. It was Keegan Bradley working on mostly wedge shots. He would hit a couple shots. He'd go back and he'd check to see what his numbers were. He'd check to see on his phone. And I have a feeling that he has his phone linked to his numbers so that he can see what. And they have TrackMan behind the players by and large for the most part. Sometimes they have the different monitors you can see alongside of them. The guy behind him, see just to the left where that man's standing, he has one of those monitors that measures right in front of him. This is Viktor Hovland. I don't know what it is. Something about Viktor Hovland's golf swing that when I'm on, practice grounds, and I shot all this with my phone. When I'm on the practice ground, I love to go watch him swing. I just love the space that he creates for himself based on the way that he takes it back. And again, just for Rory and Keegan and Victor as well. And then I had a chance, as part of what I was doing, to talk to some of the players as well. And Dom imported some of that video. Again, this was for PGA Tour Radio's preview shows, but the first one that I talked to coming off the putting green and walking over to the driving range was Russell Henley, and he had signed a whole bunch of autographs, which was really cool, and I kind of caught him as he was going from point A to B. Okay, I'm walking with Russell Henley. Russell, I have to tell you, Arnold Palmer would be very proud of you right now. I just watched you sign about 20 autographs. Every one of them was perfectly scripted and legible.
Well, I've heard that before. Played the Palmer Cup a couple times. I remember that was a big emphasis. Otherwise, they're probably not going to know who I am. But.
How are you feeling? How are things going in the week so far for you?
Good. Just trying to get used to golf course, trying to get used to the turf, get ready for rain, and used to the bounces, so it's always a big adjustment over here.
What about the rough in particular? We can see the kind of wispy brown fescue at the top, but they're saying it's pretty juicy down the bottom. What have you found?
Yeah, there's spots where it's definitely hittable. Definitely get through it, and then there's spots where it's pretty bad. Every hole's a little different. Fairways obviously premium.
When you look at a week like this, is it more about perspective, preparation, humor, or the mix?
I think the mix. I mean, getting prepared, I think just from the jet lag standpoint for me, getting fresh mentally and, feeling good going into the week to get ready for the grind, and just kind of just having low expectations but high confidence.
We wish you the very best, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you later. Yeah.
They put the ropes up and then they open it and you can kind of slide through. Well, along that way is where they sign a lot of autographs. And so Gary was signing autographs for the kids. And I didn't want to interrupt that at all. I wanted him to keep signing. In fact, there were times I was grabbing flags from the kids and helping him sign them, so that I just wanted to find out how he was doing and see how he was feeling and his thoughts for the week that lied in store. I caught up with Gary Woodland. He's literally signing autographs as we speak because he's a good guy and he does that. How are things? How's life? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. It's nice to be back. Obviously, it's been a process. We're still in it, but it's amazing to be back here. The golf course that I really enjoy. It's in amazing shape.
I thought I could get over there. What's the honor like this week and playing this Links golf course? How much is it just about good humor, perspective, and taking what you get?
It is. That's the thing. Obviously, you hope with the weather that you get a good draw, but the golf course is in amazing shape. Last time I was on the bad side, I was on the 16th, so hopefully get the good side this year. But it's the golf course is perfect. It's fair, it's hard, it's fair. You need to drive the golf ball. But you should have got the best choice. It's very big, a little thicker than it was last year. So that's a premium on good golf ball play. Some of the harder holes, the greens are pretty flat. So the golf course, I think, is extremely fair, where it allows you to kind of pick your opportunities. So it should be a great week.
I was watching you hit some balls too. It looked like you were working on flight.
I grew up in the States where I grew up. Extremely windy, so I love to fight the ball. I hope we do get some wind. Control the golf ball. The imagination you can have with links golf is something that we don't see in the States every day, so it's amazing to come over here and have a big imagination and start working at the golf shop.
Well, since I have the opportunity to talk to you, I'm going to say thank you to you, to all these people that you're signing autographs for. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks.
All right, so that was Gary Woodland as he was signing autographs. The audio wasn't great there because remember it was an interview for Open Radio, so courtesy to Open Radio for the video that they provided is there. But it kind of gives you a little glimpse of what's going on and the way the players are interacting, and it's been really cool, and that's quite typical of what you see over here. There's a good vibe. Now, granted, this is the day before, and it's going to get very, very serious tomorrow. Our coverage here locally starts at 7 a.m. As I mentioned, that's 2 a.m. Eastern time for those of you that might be with us back in North America. We've got a lot to go through with you today. We're going to be hearing from world number one Scottie Scheffler coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele have addressed the media as well. You're going to be hearing from both of those two gents. We have an update on the odds. We want to talk about what the weather is coming up. We want to talk about, again, for those of you back in North America, how you can see and hear the coverage of this Open and more. So really looking forward to getting into all of that. In fact, I'm going to kind of jump right into it and Dom, bring you in here and ask you about the odds, because interestingly enough, the odds are continuing to update. They're continuing to change, even at this point where we're just on the eve of it all getting underway.
Good morning, Matt. The odds have changed. Sorry, I had my mic down there. I spend so much time barking in Matt's ear. I have to switch between on and off the air. So let me put the odds up for everybody. The odds have changed, Matt. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand odds. I don't understand most things. But Scottie Scheffler's odds got worse. He was 5-1. He's now 5.5-1. Rory McIlroy's odds got worse. He was 8-1. He is now 8.5-1. Ludwig Oberg was 14-1. He's now 16-1. DeChambeau was 16-1. He's now 18-1. The only person on this list whose odds improved is Xander Schauffele, who is now 12-1. He was 16-1. Can you explain that, Matt?
I think my personal fit. There's a couple different things. One is when it's a tiny movement, it's the bookies trying to get you to take the bait. The other side of it, though, I do think it has an impact where someone like Xander Schauffele comes in and he addresses the media, and he has a really positive mindset. He tells you he's hitting the ball great. He tells you he loves the golf course. He tells you whatever it is, and you come away from it and go, hey, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Use that as a tease for what's coming up in the show, and we'll talk about that and see what you guys think about that in just a little bit. Did you craft a question of the day today, Dom?
I did, as I always do. The question of the day is semi-weather related, Matt.
Okay.
Bad weather at the Open, good or bad, is the question. Good or bad? And then the options are good, bad, and then I also put a third option, which is it doesn't matter. It's just part of golf for people who think it doesn't matter. But so far, 7% are saying it's bad, and 62% are saying bad weather, good.
Yeah, that's almost like the question that I was posing the other day in a different way, where I say, what do you want to see at an Open? Do you want to see just like a car wreck? Do you want to see the players struggling through wind and rain and all the rest? And I think the majority of the people that we heard back from were saying, yeah, it's exactly what they want to see. So early on here in Dom's question today, because I'm out there in it, I don't necessarily want to see the world end, but I do like the idea of players being challenged with something. Yeah, I get to walk around for 14 straight hours every day. It's awesome. I do love it. But after a while, it's the thing that I always laugh about when people are talking about waterproof apparel, Gore-Tex, whatever, and I go, I haven't found any apparel to be waterproof yet. I literally haven't found any that are truly waterproof, because if you're out there long enough and it's getting pounded with rain, eventually you get totally soaked, no matter what you have on. So we'll see if that happens this week. And I really don't care, to be honest with you. Just yeah, go ahead.
I have an architectural question for you, as I put a picture here of Royal Troon up for the audience. Could you argue that these courses are not designed, they weren't built by the land and sea to be played in perfect weather? Could you? Is it an unfair thing to say it's too easy if there's no wind and no rain?
I wouldn't say it's
supposed to be windy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's an unfair question. I think it's a very fair statement to make that without the wind, that these links golf courses have lost a defense, and it's a primary defense at that. The accurately relative to the weather, the courses can be played in the weather because they're a sand base. This is land. Links land by its very nature was formerly covered by the sea. So you've got, in some cases, dozens of feet of sand where the water just, no matter how heavy it comes down, in short order, it's gone. So you can play and you can carry on through it. That's why the only reason I always think that the weather in Scotland and the weather in Ireland is slightly maligned, because people talk about how horrible the weather is by measure of them playing golf through it, and how they wouldn't do the same in the United States. But you can't do it at most courses in the USA because you'd have standing water, because the water wouldn't drain that fast. So that is part of the impact. So yeah, you can play these courses, and no matter what Mother Nature throws at you, and if she decides that it's going to be benign as far as the weather goes, then you've got an opportunity to score. That's what happened last time we were here. They had some rain. We also had the combination of two players playing probably the best that they've ever played, at least from a head-to-head matchup, and particularly on Sunday in the form of Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson. It was incredible. Remember, Phil opened with a 63. Henrik closed with a 63. It was that good and that incredible. Yeah, I've been teasing everybody. I'm going to go to Scotty Scheffler, but since we're talking about this, Dom, let's pull up the weather graphic that you put together and tell you what the official forecast is, which is classic in and of itself, coming from the R&A.
Yeah, you want me to read it, or you want to read it?
I'll go through the top line because I can help people with the Celsius. The temperatures here this week are going to be right around anywhere from 58, 59 to about 61, 62 degrees. You can see on Thursday, the wind is 14 miles per hour. It is 12 miles per hour, and the winds are shifting, and that's key. But what you are also seeing was it doesn't really matter how much the winds shift when the height of the winds are 14 miles per hour currently. If that's the case, that goes back to what Don was talking about. These, I shouldn't say the height of the winds, the average of the winds are around 14 miles per hour. Now, it flows and ebbs there, as you can see if you're looking through the different days. But even on Sunday, which has our highest chance of rain coming through, nope, check that, it's changed. The highest chance now is Saturday, 82% tomorrow, 86% on Friday, 95% on Saturday, and 69% on Sunday. Lovely. We'll be right out there in it. But then you can see that the winds that accompany it are not really conspiring, except for maybe Friday. You can see that it's going to have some gusts that get up there. But other than that, it's not going to be too terrible. But Dom, I know you got a kick out of some of the terminology that they were using.
Yeah, I did. You can see if you're looking there if you're following the show on YouTube, on Thursday and Friday on the bottom part there, this is the official forecast from the R&A. it lists in detail the wind, the rain that's expected on and off, the gusting. But at the bottom there, it says rest of the championship. And the first sentence is low confidence in detail for the weekend, likely remaining changeable, which I love. It's just absolutely fantastic. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, even they don't know what's going to happen, which I feel like is kind of how it should be. But that being said, they're saying longer periods of rain, and I quote, on Saturday, with timings and rainfall amounts uncertain. so it's going to rain, but we don't know when and we don't know how much. But it's going to rain. So the defenses that you were talking about that Royal Troon has, you know, it sounds like they're going to be buffeted by some wind, and they're going to be dealing with a little bit of rain. But I think what makes me the most excited is the wind doesn't look like it's going to be so bad that it's going to make it unfair or crazy. And the rain doesn't look like it's going to be so bad that it's going to become, you know, dicey and unplayable and miserable. It just looks like, some rain, some wind at an Open Championship, as it should be, no?
Yeah, that's, I'm not going to complain about it. I'd prefer it to be beautiful and windy over not so windy and rainy, but that's what you sign up for. And that's the way it goes. Okay, so I promised you world number one, Scotty Scheffler. Let's find out what Scotty Scheffler feels about this event. I did take a look at Scotty's performance at the Open. I'll give it to you this way. Scotty's previous starts have been 3. His best performance in the Open was a tie for 8th in 2021. In 2023, Scottie Scheffler was tied for 23rd, so he's made 3 cuts in his 3 efforts. With that one top 10, his scoring average has been 69.67. 8 of his 12 rounds have been subpar, which is very, very strong indeed. And his lowest round for Scottie Scheffler was a 66, and that, not surprisingly, came in the year in which he had that tie for 8th finish. That was in 2021. Scottie Scheffler in the press room just the other day got a chance to tell the media about where his heart and emotion is right now heading into this Open.
This is my 4th. And as far as the learning curve goes, I mean, I just feel like you have to be more creative here, and I love that part of it. I feel like when I do come over here, this is really kind of how golf was intended to be played. I feel like there's a lot more opportunity for shot making and being creative around the greens, and I can just see how, somebody who is either a bit older, maybe not as talented as some of us out here, like you take a 10 handicap, that only carries it 200 yards and they can run it up and have fun and not really lose many balls. But the golf course out here is still going to challenge players like myself. And so it really is fun to come over here and play. And I feel like just getting more creative. And I think the biggest adjustment was how much the ball spins off of the turf here. It spins a bit more than it does at home. And so when you're playing shots into the wind, it'll typically have much more of an effect on what the golf ball does than what we're used to. So getting used to a little bit of the heavy air and just a little bit spinnier turf. Well, you got number 6, the long par 5, and I think it's a really good hole because, especially when you get it slightly downwind, you can get to the green in 2. Still, just with how firm the grass is. If you carry the ball, let's say 300 yards in the air and it's a little bit downwind, it's going to roll out on this turf, at least 30 yards, unless it lands into an upslope. And so you'll be able to get there in 2. And so I like that it has opportunity on that hole. And then I think number 8's great. The postage stamp. I get frustrated sometimes when the solution to distance is just making holes further and further, and then it only just encourages guys to try to hit the ball further and further and not worry as much about controlling your ball. And number 8 is a good little way to kind of almost step back in time and control your ball a bit more, and you don't have to make a par 3 230 yards to make it a great hole. It can be 120 yards. I think of holes like 12 at Augusta and 17 at Sawgrass. I mean, the best par 3s in the world are short par 3s. They're not overly long par 3s, and because it leaves opportunity for you to hit a great shot. And if I don't hit the green on number 8, it's most likely going to be a bogey unless you're in the front of the green. I mean, if you miss it in the right bunker or the left bunker, if you hit in the left bunker, you're going to be glad to be making a bogey because it's probably going to plug and you're going to be getting up and down for your bogey. So I think great little short holes like that are fun. I think it's an underrated skill for guys nowadays to be able to control your ball, and I think it's something that we need to continue to encourage in our game, not just building golf courses longer and longer. I mean, you can make a short hole with a small green, and it's pretty dang tough. I don't really know exactly what it does for my club head speed. I've tried to hit a few shots with my irons with what you would like call traditional footwork, and I just felt kind of locked in, felt a little bit too robotic. And so I've always been a guy that loved hitting a lot of different shots, changing the height, changing the curve, and that's how I play most of the time. And in terms of my footwork, I just felt too kind of locked in and unnatural if I don't do what my feet normally do, because it may look funny to y'all, but it feels totally normal to me. I never thought twice about it. Basically, I didn't really think much about it until I got out on tour, and it really became something that I got asked about. That was kind of my calling card when I first came out on tour, was my footwork, and it was something that I never really thought about because that's just always what I did. Like, one of the things that's been really great about this year is the fan support I've gotten. I really feel like the crowds this year have treated me wonderfully. They've been behind me, and it's, I always dreamed of growing up playing on the PGA Tour, and so being out here playing in front of great crowds and having them, scream your name and holler when you make putts and be truly rooting for you is a great feeling, and it's something that I'll always cherish for my time out here. And it's one of the very special perks that we have of playing out here on tour, is playing in front of great crowds and being able to feel their support.
Scotty Scheffler, world number one, addressing the media right here at the 152nd Open. We're from. We will continue the Fairways of Life show right after this. We are live from here inside of the media center. If you want the best insight to your golf game, you can get it from the PGA Tour Superstore, our presenting sponsor. 70 some odd stores spread out from coast to coast. Why? Because they are the best, the number one retailer. Why? Their stores? Of course it is. But I think even more so, it's because of their people. You are shopping with the pros.
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together, hit over 100,000 balls, all so they can get you the perfect fit.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try these. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after the PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're gonna need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
All right, welcome back to Fairways of Life Show. Pleasure to have your company. The 152nd Open is just hours away. Let's take a look at, especially for those of you in North America, how you can see and hear, which we'll get to in just a second, but how you can see this Open and where you can see it, what the air times are, and all the rest. So let's take a look at that. Here you can see Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and the next day. Coverage will begin at 4 a.m. Eastern Time on USA Network, Saturday at 5 a.m. on USA, and then kicking over to NBC at 7 a.m. All these times are Eastern Time, Sunday at 4 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. on NBC. As you look at that, and keep in mind, Thursday and Friday starting at 4 a.m., hold that for just 1 second. That's the TV side. Now let's go to the audio side. Which, again, for North America, you'll see us displaying it as Sirius XM, but it's 2 hours earlier. So that's our coverage, which kicks off at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can hear the coverage that you've gotten used to, I'm sure, over the years with our UK-based, predominantly broadcast team. But we will be kicking it off 2 hours before you can even see it on television, so you can get your coverage of what's going on here at Royal Troon from us from 2 a.m. if you subscribe to the national satellite service Sirius XM in North America, or you can listen to the coverage on the Open app or theopen.com. You have all those choices. Saturday and Sunday, the coverage begins at 4 a.m. On Sirius XM and goes all the way up until 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. on the weekend is our scheduled on-air time. So you can hear the coverage from 4 a.m. at that time. In other words, when we come on the air is when it's going to be coming on Sirius XM for those of you in North America. And again, you always have the option of getting it for free through the app or at theopen.com. All right. And I do know, Dom, there were some tee times released. I'm curious about, I know you put together some graphics with some notable tee times in that. Want to take us through some of those?
Sure, if you'd like. I put it up on the screen for folks. These are the notable, what I would describe as notable tee times. Obviously, the featured group coverage, which so many of us have become familiar with, that many people will want to watch, will include some of these groups. I don't believe the featured group coverage and who's going to be followed specifically has been released yet, as of yet. But if you go to theopen.com, if you download the app, you will be able to watch that featured group coverage. In fact, I believe, Matt, they're also doing featured coverage of that postage stamp 8th hole all day long.
Good.
Sort of a featured
That'll be
hole
fun.
coverage, which
Yeah,
I
that'll be
fully
fun.
anticipate they will do. I'll just read through some of them and bounce around. I'm not going to read all of it. You can see it right there on your screen. And I'd say the first big featured group that's going to be teeing off at 7:52 a.m. All these times are local Scottish time that you're looking at here. Justin Thomas, Sunjam, and Matt Southgate there. There you see John Rahm with Fleetwood and Bob McIntyre fresh off his Scottish championship at 9:36 a.m. 9:47, look at that. Ludwig Oberg, Bryson DeChambeau, Tom Kim. That's a blockbuster group right there. Followed immediately by the defending champion, Brian Harman, with Victor Hovland, who Matt saw earlier at the range, and Sahith Theegala. There's Rory at 10:09 with Max Homa. The United States Ryder Cup captain, newly minted, Keegan Bradley at 10:20, with the big hitting amateur Gordon Sargent and Will Zalatoris in that group. There you see Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, Phil Mickelson, DJ teeing off at 2 o'clock. There is Brooks Koepka, Wyndham Clark, Hideki Matsuyama at 2:26. They have an afternoon tee time. Tiger Woods is teeing off as Xander Schauffele, who we're going to hear from in just a little bit here, and Patrick Cantlay at 2:37. Morikawa Burns and Siwoo Kim there. There's Matt's Shane Lowry. We'll have to look at his odds a little bit later there, Matt, at 2:59. And then there it is, right there at the end, 3:10. That's not quite the last tee time of the day, but almost. Jordan Spieth, Scotty Scheffler, and Cam Young. Simple question for you, Matt. Based on what we went over with the weather, based on your knowledge of the course and walking around a little bit, seeing some of the guys hit at the range, do you have an inkling as to whether the early or late groups have an advantage?
I don't believe it's going to make a difference this year. Many times, which side of the draw, as they put it, that you get has a huge impact on how the golf course will play or is capable of playing. But I don't believe that it's going to have an impact on anybody that's in the afternoon. You see it from Jason Day at 126, looking at your screen again, to just looking at I'm not emitting anyone. I'm just looking at the first name in the different groupings: Phil Mickelson, Wyndham Clark, Tiger Woods, Colin Morikawa, Shane Lowry, Jordan Spieth, in that order. I don't see it having an impact on any of those guys because of the wins. Now, I am opening up. It says this is a different weather stat than the one we read to earlier. So this one is up to the date to this second right now. Cloudy with occasional light rain, mainly in the morning. A high of 64. Wind south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Chance of rain is 50%. So that's an opposite wind for the golf course here. So that's actually going to make the golf course play easier. The harder back nine that usually plays into the teeth of the wind is going to be playing slightly downwind tomorrow. The winds tend to get a little bit stronger as the day goes on. And if it stays in that direction, that means it's going to get a little bit easier as it continues. It's not giving me a breakdown of when they expect the rain to come in by the hour, but they did say, I just noted, that it's mainly in the morning. So I don't think there's any disadvantage in teeing off later in the day. In fact, I think there may be some advantage that you're not going to be distracted by the weather based upon what they're saying. But again, who knows? They flat out tell you when they give you a forecast that we don't have a high degree of confidence, which to me is like the greatest job in the world. It's like, yeah, this might happen, but it might not. We're not really confident in what we just told you. I should do that. Yeah, I'm not really confident in what I just told you at all. So we'll see how it plays itself out. As to the sound that I promised you that I would get to, let's lead with Rory, because he did speak at the Scottish last week, and he played well at Scottish, tied for fourth. He was back in the mix again. You saw some video that I shot earlier today. You can roll that again, Dom, if you want to, of him practicing at the driving range. He was hitting an iron when I pulled my phone out and did the little videotape that we played for you, but he moved on to the driver after that. And there was all kinds of people surrounding him, watching him. His father was standing behind him. Jerry was a really nice guy. I had a chance to chat with him a little bit as well. It's kind of like these events, or any events this way, that's Keegan Bradley, are always like a bit of a reunion with when you see people you haven't seen in a long time. And Rory's dad was actually asking me about this show, Fairways of Life show, and he said he likes it because we provide facts and let people come to conclusions based upon what they know and what they see, which is precisely what we try to do. So it was pretty cool.
Did you see that? Did you catch that, Matt? Keegan checking his phone in between every shot.
Yeah, but again, I think he's. I don't think he's checking text messages. I don't think he's checking Ryder Cup points. I think what he's actually doing is he's getting data coming back from his measuring device on his phone. So he's seen right now. He's using a pretty high lofted club. So I think he's probably measuring spin rates as we speak. But there's guys working on everything. You should have seen. I didn't do any video when I was at the putting green, and that's Victor Hovland there in the middle that you're looking at. When I was in the putting green, every single player had a device. I didn't see two of the same device too, which was interesting, but everybody had something that they were using to work on their putting. So getting back to Rory, he did speak a little bit at the Scottish Open. So it's different, obviously, when you come into a major championship because now people start to count the days and weeks and months and years, in Rory's case, since he had his last win. So surely that's part of the conversation. Where are you at? Where's your mind at this time? What are you expecting this week?
Yeah, I feel like preparations have been going well. I feel like preparations probably started last week at the Renaissance, and just getting myself familiar again with links conditions, links turf, green speeds. Obviously we play our majority of our golf in the States, and green surfaces that are quite different to here. So just trying to get, I guess, acclimated to that. Not that, obviously grew up playing a lot of links golf, but, when you only come back to play, once or twice a year, it just takes you a little time to adapt. But yeah, it's been going well. Got my first look at the golf course this morning early. And yeah, it's it's basically a tale of two nines on this course. You feel like you have to make your score on the way out, and then you you have to sort of hang on coming in. So, but yeah, looking forward to the week. Course is in great shape, and obviously we've got a amazing field as these major championships produce now. It's the only time, 4 times a year that we get everyone back together. So looking forward to the week. Full disclosure, I changed my number 2 days after the US Open, so I didn't get it until he told me about it today. So I was like, oh, thanks very much. So I blanked Tiger Woods, which was probably not a great thing, but Tiger's been nothing but incredible to me over the course of my career. In the good moments and in the bad. He sent me an incredible message after St. Andrews in 2022. And he's, I met Tiger when I was 15 years old, and, I've built up a great relationship with him, his whole family. He really enjoys spending time with my mom and dad as well. So, it means a lot. It means a lot that he reached out, and it actually, it means a lot that he waited a few days to reach out. Wish he hadn't waited that long, as I probably would have got it. But, I caught up with him earlier, and, it's always nice when, your hero and the guy that you had on your bedroom wall is reaching out and offering words of encouragement. Yeah, it's good. Game's in really good shape. Had a nice reset after Pinehurst that was needed, and felt like I, shook off a little bit of the rust last week and played okay. Felt like I probably could have given myself more of a chance to win the tournament, but thought it was a solid week. And again, it's like one eye on preparing for this week, but another eye on trying to, get into contention as well. But overall, I've been in the UK now for a couple of weeks, and it's felt nice to get back over here and get back into the swing of things. No, not surprised. I think, last few holes of a major championship with a great chance to win, if you're not feeling it, then it probably doesn't mean as much to you as it should. So no, it wasn't a surprise. It was just more a disappointment that I didn't handle those uneasy feelings as good as I could have. And I've alluded to this, I was probably more aware than I should have been of what was happening behind me, and sort of got out of my own little headspace a little too much, and that was a big part of the reason why I didn't close it out coming down the stretch.
Some honest talk there from Rory McIlroy addressing the media here at the 152nd Open inside of the Media Center from Royal Troon, where we are broadcasting to you live. So we've got a big giveaway announcement for you now, because we have decided to give away a TaylorMade QI10 driver. That's one of those brand new drivers that are pretty much, call it one of the hottest drivers in the game right now. And there you can see it. And the QI10 that we're giving away is the QI10 Max. And that's the driver that's kind of made for 95% of people. It's got the largest sweet spot. There you can see it's got that carbon face. It's got the super thin crown so that they can take that weight and they can move it to the sole of the club and back, so that it has a really low center of gravity and a really high launch. And then these clubs are built in such a way that it generates the energy, forces the energy of the impact back through the club face. That's the reason why the sole is shaped the way that it is shaped. That's where that low center of gravity comes from, because that weight is low and back. So you get that high initial launch angle, but it powers it through this club face. And all of this stuff is AI designed, and then it can be customized because of the dynamic nature of it, and the fact that you want to make sure that you have a loft and you have a lie angle, all of it that perfectly fits you. In order to be in the running to win this, you have to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, the Fairways of Life YouTube page, and then make sure that you follow us on all of our social channels and tag 3 friends. The details of the same, if you follow us on social, you'll see it there, and you'll see the details laid out for you that our social team, the QI10 from TaylorMade. One of you guys are going to get it. Who wants it? We're excited that we're going to give away something that is of that stature, and we wanted to launch it right here at the Open, because even that feels kind of special and different as well. All right, when we come back, we were talking about Xander's odds have gotten better. What happened? Was it because of what he said to the media? Was it because they perceived a sense of comfort, a sense of uber confidence? I mean, this is a guy that is now a major champion. Does all that make sense? Was it that? You be the judge when we come back live from Royal Troon at the 152nd Open.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern lower peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
PGA Tour Superstore pros aren't born. They're made. Every January, hundreds of associates talk to the top manufacturers, learn about the latest clubs, test the newest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together, hit over 100,000 balls, all so they can get you the perfect fit.
What if we started a company and the company was under no time constraints, no financial constraints? The one constraint is their clubs had to be exceptional performers and much better than any other alternative. I was told time and again it'll never work. It worked like a house of fire. And I'll tell you what, I think our customers love it. BXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
As we welcome you back to the Fairways of Life show, we are live from this 152nd Open at Royal Troon inside of the media center here. Dom, you can give me back Nat audio if you wouldn't mind. So all week we've been featuring the different players coming through and who we've heard from and what we've heard from the respective players. Dom, I am interested in, you have the question of the day that you put out there. Remind everybody, if you would, please, as well as what you're hearing from the people. I'd like to hear from the people now as we sit on the eve of this last major of the year on the men's side.
Sure. The question of the day is, bad weather at the Open, good or bad? Good, bad, or doesn't matter part of golf. Now, there's a surprising number of people, Matt, that are saying doesn't matter, it's part of golf. 39% are saying whatever. And 47% are saying good. Bad weather, good at the Open. And only 14% are saying it's bad, so that's interesting. I would have thought more people would have said bad, but that's fine. There's a lot of stuff coming in. Some people are giving us their picks for the tournament. We can go through the odds here in a little bit if you'd like to talk about who are the betting favorites. Obviously, it's Scotty and Rory, but they're outside of those two. It's a kind of jam-packed group of guys, which is interesting. We've had some people commenting, Matt, and I'm curious what your take is. 3 or 4 people, in fact, wondering if Brooks Koepka is not in the normal frame of mind that he is coming into a major. I mean, we have people saying, lack of imagination. There was someone that wrote, let me see if I can find it quickly because there's so much stuff coming in. They wrote something about he was not as mentally sharp as he seems normally. I'm just curious, when you've been on the practice grounds walking around thus far, have you seen Brooks anywhere?
Yeah, and when I saw him,
do you agree with that?
No, because when I saw him, he looked as sharp and as honed as ever. The fact that he wasn't invited into the media center, so he didn't address the press, so we weren't able to pick his brain and get the normal kind of Brooks bravado, this kind of a gladiator approach where he's saying, I don't care what anybody else does. I've only got to beat 20 guys because it's a major championship. And we all go, yeah, that's Brooks Koepka. Go out there and kick some butt. I don't agree that Brooks is any way, again, I don't know what people are seeing back in North America, if that's where these comments are coming from. They may have done all kinds of features. I don't know. We wouldn't know that or see that. All I can tell you is what I've seen, and what I've seen seemed very controlled, and the swing seemed very, very good. So no, I'm not of a mindset to think that Brooks Koepka has his foot off the gas at this major. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if he wasn't very much in the mix as they move forward. What else you got?
I mean, I could keep reading stuff all day, but I think we should get to Xander, and then we can talk about the odds, because if for some reason his odds went up. Like they got better. I don't know why that happened. That's very strange.
Well, that leads me to that question I was teasing you guys with at the end of the segments, which is to say, is it because when Xander, remember his press conference was late here yesterday, and is it because his press conference engendered somehow a confidence that he's ready to continue his really good play this year, that he's ready to build on his already major status? Let's find out from the man himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think links golf, there's a certain attitude that you need to have to play at a high level. Excuse you, Doug, you all right? That comes with playing links golf, and that's sort of the first thing I learned when I was here, back at home in the States, when it starts raining. People always feel like, one wave gets the rain, and when you're out here, it can rain the entire day, and it's just part of it. So it's something that we're really not used to playing in the States, and with that rain comes a lot of wind as well. So I really enjoy the challenge of it. I've played, this is my 7th start now, and I don't feel like quite a veteran on links golf yet, but again, I really do enjoy it, and I think that helps me learn quicker. I've played 9 holes, or I've played 18 holes now. I played 9 and 9, and the front 9, and it's a tale of 2 nines a little bit. The front 9's much more straightforward. The back 9's a bit trickier. Overall, I feel like it's a pretty straightforward open championship venue. It's pretty fair and pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna have to, I'm playing the back 9 again. There's a few tee shots there that are a little uncomfortable. So wanted to see that side again. But overall, I mean, I think it's a really fair test of golf, and if it's really windy, it'll be really fun. And if the wind lays down, then I think that's how you saw some low scores back then in 16. Makes me feel a lot better that I have one now. Everyone's just trying to put themselves in a position to win, and you try and get yourself in the right headspace, and everyone's pushing. For us on the PGA Tour, it's our playoffs are right around the corner. On the European Tour, there's still a lot more golf to be played until their playoffs and finals. So for us, it's nearing the home stretch here. So there's a lot of people that are super focused and trying to tune their game in to the best of their ability. He's still LT grade to me. He's still wearing that red on Sunday, and I mean, I just heard some of those comments that were said by Colin, and whether it's his honest opinion or not. I mean, the game of golf needs him desperately. Selfishly, I want him to play as long as possible. It just helps all the guys out here, just with the amount of eyeballs someone like Tiger Woods brings to golf. So he's still got a lot of fight in him, and I think he's pretty honest with his own assessment of he'll hang him up when he feels he's ready, and he's still got a lot of bite and a lot of fight in him. So I'm not too worried about him, and I look forward to playing with him the first 2 days.
Is he still the biggest draw in golf then? Or what are you saying, the biggest name, biggest celebrity?
I mean, if you just want to come out and try and watch a single shot on Thursday and Friday, you can be my guest.
Yeah, that was Jordan Spieth talking about Tiger Woods there, obviously, at the end. And he's right about that. The crowd, or Xander Schauffele, sorry, the crowds and the way that they react to Tiger, if he's practicing on the golf course, if he's in driving range or on the putting green or wherever it is or wherever he is, it's absolutely insane the way that people connect with him. They always have. That's not a surprise by that. All right, Dom, so just a couple minutes left here for you to kind of touch base with what we're hearing from folks. You can always log on to our Fairways of Life YouTube page and be a part of the conversation. You can put your ballot in, your vote for the question of the day, which today is, do you like the bad weather? Which last time we checked in was 39% said, yeah, whatever, 47% bad is good, and 14% said bad is bad. So let's check in with that first, Dom, and then you tell me what you're hearing.
Yeah, it's 46% good, 41% don't care, and only 13% are saying it's bad. So overall, bad weather is good, which is great. Chase writes in, last major of the year, damn it. Which I know, right? It happens very quickly, and it just disappears and goes away, and then we have to wait longer. But, it's a Solheim Cup year. It's a President's Cup year. It's an Olympics year. There's still a lot of big golf coming up. The FedEx Cup is coming up right around the corner. There's still a lot of big stuff right around the corner that has historical implications. I mean, I know it feels right now like a gold medal is not a huge deal, but I feel like when our kids are 30, it's going to matter a lot who won the gold medal. So I think that the Olympics matters quite a bit, and which we'll talk about when you get back and way after the Open. But all the Olympic teams and players have been announced, the fields for men and women. So we know who's going to be there now officially. So I'm looking forward to spending some time talking a little bit about that. But we've got a lot of people commenting about who they think is going to win, Matt. And I wanted to spend a little bit more time going over the odds. Let me put something up here just so you guys have something to look at for the odds.
Okay.
Because we went over them earlier. They've sort of been updated, if you will. But I also have in front of me all of the odds, not just what you see on the screen there, Matt. And I'm just going to throw some names out there. And I guess I just want your immediate reaction. Like, I'm just going to throw you a name and tell you their odds, and I want you to tell me what you think. Shane Lowry, 40-1.
Yeah, I mean, Shane had that win, the team win at the Zurich with Rory McIlroy. But if you look at what happened at that performance, it was really Rory that was carrying Shane across the line to victory. Shane hit some good shots, but he hit an awful lot of bad ones that Rory had to make up for. So 30-1 for Shane right now seems like pretty good odds. And I say pretty good from the standpoint of saying Shane tends to step up on golf courses that demand accuracy, and he tends to step up on golf courses that are really tough. So at 30-1, if someone was looking at odds from the standpoint of saying who should I take, who shouldn't I take, that would be a green light for me. I'd take Shane.
Now here's another one for you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Scott. I mean, he just
Adam
finished
Scott,
runner-up at the Scottish Open. He's had some good finishes this year on the PGA Tour, Matt.
Yeah, he has. He played well last week. He's had 23 starts in the Open, which, I know obviously that relates to his age. He's 43 years old now. His best finish was when he finished second in 2012. But remember, he finished second because he collapsed, and Ernie Els was able to slip in to victory. Last year at the Open, he finished in a tie for 33rd. He's made the cut 18 times in those 23 starts, which should tell you just by that percentage that he's pretty comfortable in links golf. Well, he should be, because he's such a good ball striker. Top 10s during that stretch, he has had 5 of them. So 5 top 10s in 23 attempts. Pretty good percentage, not crazy, but decent. 71.29 is his scoring average. 34 of his 82 rounds have been under par, and his low round was a 64 in that year when he nearly won the Open. So as far as Adam Scott goes, ball striking is paramount, and it will be this week, I believe, in every regard, both off the tee and the approach to the greens. The greens only average 4,800 square feet, which means that you've got to be really accurate with your clubs coming in to hold these greens. He is. The speed of the greens is only going to be about 10.5. That's what the practice putting green was rolling today. So if that's the case, it doesn't put as much pressure on the guys that struggle when they putt, because at the slower green, by their standard, they can feel like they're hammering the golf ball to keep it on line and get it to the hole. So what was his odds again? Give them to me so I can give you a green light or a caution.
60-1.
Yeah, green light on Adam Scott.
So we've got some people commenting here more than once. Terrell Hatton or Tommy Fleetwood will win, Wayne says. Fleetwood
Yeah, two good
is
picks.
20-1 right now, and Terrell Hatton is 25-1.
Yeah, those are two good picks because they're both excellent ball strikers.
Let me very quickly say, because everyone wants to know, Tiger Woods is currently 300-1. Phil Mickelson is also currently 300-1. For those that seem to care a little bit there. Let me see if I can find someone that is unexpected.
Are you asking
To
me something
me,
about those two, or are you just saying the 300-1?
I'm wondering why Max Homa is 125-1. Because I feel like his odds should be like markedly better than that.
Well, he usually is pretty good at playing, but in order for me to answer that, hold on, I have to look at what Max's recent finishes
Well, while you're
are.
looking up Max Homa, I'll just throw some more numbers out for folks. Just some other big names. You saw the odds I put up there of the bigger names. Bob McIntyre coming off his win is 40-1. Defending champion Brian Harmon is 60-1 currently. Sahith Theegala
61.
is
Whoa,
61.
stop.
Louis
Hold on one second.
Oosthuizen is
Hold
60-1.
on. Don't go crazy. 60-1 for defending champion Brian Harmon is excellent. This is a golf course that favors a player that hits a draw. So if you're a lefty and you hit a fade, that's the shape that works at this golf course. So Brian Harmon at 60-1 is an excellent pick.
Okay. So you want me to fire away, or you want to? Do you still looking up Max
No.
Homa? What's going on here?
I'm looking at Max right now. That's why I paused. So, yeah,
Okay.
Genesis Scottish Open, he had a tie for 70th. Before that, his last start was Travelers Championship, a tie for 61. U.S. Open, he was cut at the Memorial. Pretty good finish, top 22, tied for 22nd. He was cut at the Charles Schwab Challenge. PGA Championship, he was 35th. Wells Fargo was 8th, very tough event, a major venue there. RBC Heritage, he was 55th. Masters, he was tied for 3rd. So if and the Players, he was tied for 64th. If you look at that as a body of work, other than that tie for 3rd at the Masters, then it really isn't that impressive. He's kind of come off the boil for Max Homa, and I think that's why. If we look at strokes gained total for Max, he's 80th. Strokes gained off the tee, and remember I was telling you how important off the tee is at this Open? He's not even near average. He's 141st in strokes gained off the tee right now. Strokes gained approach, he's 67th, which is great, but you can't get to being even 67th if you're mired in the deep rough that's all over Royal Troon, because you're hitting it sideways off the tee. So now at least you can understand why his stats are the way, or his odds are the way they are, because the stats and the performances, the results are telling you that right now Max Homa's game is a little off.
Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth were part of the group that selected Keegan Bradley as the next United States Ryder Cup captain. Are both 80-1. Are they both in their own heads right now, Matt? Are they off the boil, to use your term?
I think Jordan Spieth, you said, is he in his own head? I think he's listening to the voices in his head. I'm not feeling it with Jordan Spieth. Justin Thomas, I followed quite a bit over the last few days, both in his practice and then today. I was watching him putting a lot, and his putting looked pretty good, but he just doesn't look comfortable to my eye. I'm just talking in general, just watching his facial expressions, watching the way he interacts with people. It looks to me like he's still struggling in some way. I hope I'm wrong on both of them, but I'm not feeling it for either one.
You said you liked Brooks Koepka earlier. Brooks is 40-1, Matt. Is that a good bet?
Yep, that's
right
pretty
now?
good odds. Yeah, I think it is. Because
So
when I say that, let me just Yeah, let me just clarify that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When they're doing betting over here, a lot of times what they're doing is what they call betting both ways, which means you're betting on a top 10 as well as betting on winning. Excuse me. So I would say that Brooks right now on a top 10 is really solid.
Okay. Just to wrap up a couple things here, John Rahm is 20-1. Victor Hovland, who you were watching earlier on the range, is 30-1, and Cam Smith is 50-1. Any initial thoughts there?
I kind of like Cam Smith. He's got to show more, I think, but I kind of like Cam Smith in terms of if I were going to do something, I'd do a little bit with him. I'm not feeling it with the other guys.
So I'll put this back up one last time for the folks, and I guess we could sort of, if you would like to make an official pick here, Matt, as we sort of wrap a bow around our preview stuff for the Open Championship with play getting underway tomorrow. You can see quite clearly that Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy are the favorites this week. Do you agree with that? And would you anticipate one of those two winning this week?
Well, yes. I mean, because Scottie Scheffler's won 6 times, so you'd be foolish to count him out or far from the top of the leaderboard. However, having said that, Rory McIlroy hits a draw. Having said that, Rory McIlroy has a much, much deeper body of work at the Open. Let's say, just to give you his stats, he has 14 prior starts. He won it, of course, in 2014. Last year, he was tied for 6. He's made the cut in those 14 times, 12 times with 7 top 10s. 29 of 52 rounds have been under par, and his low round was a 63 in 2010. That 63 in 2010 was at St. Andrews. I think that Rory McIlroy is out here with great motivation. I think Rory McIlroy is out here with something to prove, if not to the world, then at least to himself. So if I had to pick one player overall, my player to win this Open is going to be Rory McIlroy for the purposes laid out there. However, I do have some dark horses that when I say the name, Dom, just go ahead and tell me what the odds are. My first one is Aaron Rai.
Aaron Rai is 60-1.
Okay. Aaron Rai has been playing very, very well. He's one of these players that we've been watching for some time that is, as I call it, on the ascent. And he particularly plays well in big events. So he's one that I'm keeping an eye on. Davis Thompson, and I will qualify this by telling you that I was on the bandwagon with Davis before his recent win on the PGA Tour. And Davis Thompson played really well, and he just plays well in really big events. I don't know how else to phrase it other than that. He shows up at big events. Where's Davis right now? I realize his odds will have tightened quite a bit because of what he's done recently.
He's 100-1 currently, Matt.
Okay. Wow. Wow, that's really good. Yeah. Okay. I haven't heard you mention Colin Morikawa.
I mean, he was listed on my, on the odds that we showed to everybody. He's listed there from the beginning. He's 16-1. His odds are solid right now.
Okay, what about Bryson?
Bryson's odds got a little bit worse. He is now 18-1. Bryson's an interesting case, Matt, because he's just, in every way imaginable, he's just different. But 6th place at the Masters, a runner-up at the PGA, and then the win at Pinehurst. I mean, he's having one of the better major championship seasons that we've seen in a while. I can't imagine it's weird to think that he wouldn't play well here.
He was tied for 8th in 22 at the Open. He was tied for 60th last year. 7 of 20 rounds so far have been subpar rounds, but it's hard to judge that with anybody because of the what side of the draw that you get, etc. So, I don't know. I still like Bryson. How about Matthew Pavone?
Matthew Pavone, he says. Okay. 150-1, Matt.
Yep, I like him. Harmon, we already talked about.
I don't think I have Pavone in the feature groups there, Matt.
No,
totally being shafted.
No, I really like him as well. And then I'm going to give you 2 more. Corey Connors and Chris Kirk that I particularly like. Where are we at with those guys?
Corey Connors is 60-1. and Chris Kirk is 400 to 1.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Payout.
Okay, so there you go. You wanted some names and maybe some wild cards. Those would be the ones that Dom, I would definitely be looking at. Cannot wait for all of this to get underway. Go ahead.
I'll
Before
put the
we
coverage
say
times up as we're saying goodbye.
I was just
There
going to say that you read my mind. It's exactly where I wanted to go. For those of you that are watching us in North America, coverage begins tomorrow morning on USA Network at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. That's the same start time on Friday. On Saturday at 5 a.m. on USA, then it kicks over to NBC at 7 a.m. Sunday at 4 a.m. Eastern Time on USA, then it kicks over to NBC at 7 a.m. If you want to hear the radio coverage that I'm absolutely psyched to be a part of from this Open, Thursday and Friday we start at 2 a.m. So for those of you in North America, our live coverage of the 152nd Open is starting 2 hours before the TV coverage at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. You can hear us if you subscribe to Sirius XM, what is normally PGA Tour radio during any other week, which will become the Open radio, I'm sure, in the week that lies in store. So 2 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow morning, and on Friday is when that coverage starts. 4 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday is when the radio coverage starts. You can also hear that radio coverage on the official Open app, or if you log on to theopen.com, you can hear it any place in the world. It works there too. So super psyched about everything that is stacked up and ready to go. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys too remember that we are giving away that QI10 Max driver by TaylorMade, and I can't wait for one of you to win this driver. It's a huge driver in the industry right now. Make sure that you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, and make sure that you follow us on our social channels. You can always see it right there on your TV screen. You can see it in the lower left-hand side of your TV screen, and then tag 3 friends, and you are in the running. Next time we are together, we will have a conclusion to this 152nd Open. It is that special, and it's right before our eyes. Enjoy. Bye for now.